Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Ripper's Ramble number 70. Ooh, 70, big number. I'm Chris Ripper. This will be my ramble today. I got a pretty juicy batch of writing questions for the last ramble, and they triggered, or rather, that ramble triggered someone asking if after so many years of writing and so many books, uh, I feel confident about writing. And that's like a great question because I think creatives and like people who, well, I guess creatives, people who create, people who generate content in any sense. I mean, I would include in that bakers and just people who are making things. I think we are all bought in on some level to the notion that practice makes perfect. And practice does not make perfect, which is good because perfection would be really boring. What practice does, or at least what practice has done for me after 20 something years of writing and 40 something novels, uh, it makes it so that the confidence I have is that I can finish a book. I can finish a project. I know that because I have forced myself to finish projects just because they needed to get done. And this started years before I was publishing. I just realized I had a lot of things that were unfinished. And when I say things, I mean hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. I know because I collected them once. I'm a little bit OCD. The list of file names was beginning to bother me, and a lot of them were like 3 pages or 5 pages or 10 pages and then never gone back to. And mostly I knew that I was never going to go back to them, so I copied them all into a single document. Hundreds and hundreds of pages of stories I began and never went back to. And I got pretty sick of that. Like, I got pretty sick of myself for doing that. So I made a rule that if I started something, I had to finish it, which I more or less keep to. I mean, I always have open loops, but for the most part, if I sit down to write something, I finish what I'm writing. And I think that's a good confidence builder in terms of productivity, but means absolutely nothing in terms of the writing itself. I mean, there's one book out of all of my books that I did not hit a crisis black moment on where I thought that it was completely worthless and and it would never be good enough. Like, there's one book, and I feel really fortunate. I don't think it's ever going to happen again. I think that was a fluke of I don't it was some kind of miracle. I have no idea, but it's never happened since, and I don't think it's ever going to happen again. Every book I write consists of periods when I'm lucky of great joy, where the words come easily, and periods just as a sort of normal course of creation where I'm like, oh, this is not, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any, right to write this, and it's never going to be what I need it to be, and this story is too ambitious, and I'm not good enough, and like that happens every book, seriously. Uh, so I think that's normal, I assume, at this point. Or rather, I think, I don't know if I would trust someone who was a creator and didn't have a deep sort of striving to always be better. I think for me that's a huge part of this process. Uh, and I think I get better. Um, I write different things all the time. I write with different language. I write different characterizations, and I love all that stuff. So that's really important to me. Not only to be writing, but to level up, man. How to level up. So, yeah, that is my relatively concise answer, which is no, man. Every book, at different points in the book, I am basically like, that's it, I'm done. This book is terrible. It will always be terrible. There is no redeeming it. It is the worst thing. I should not be allowed to write. Like, all of those thoughts go through my head all the time. Uh, if you want to be a successful creator, the thing you have to get good at, the thing you have to practice is backing down the voices, because there will always be voices telling you that you're not good enough. And sometimes they're really loud, and sometimes they seem very convincing. Like, the voices in your head who are critical of you are probably always going to be way more effective than other people's voices who are critical of you. Like, I don't care about bad reviews at all, but man, the voice in my head can do a number on me. So uh, I think that it's important to talk about these things, because sometimes we think that we're the only ones who are experiencing this kind of nightmare situation of doubting ourselves, and that is never ever true. So there you have it. That question, that ramble inspired by the lovely Emma, and I think that's about it for today. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.